JBN, we keep you informed. I am Michelle Jones, and in the news, man killed outside Maxfield Clinic. The St. Andrew South Police are investigating Monday's during daylight murder of a man at the entrance to the Maxfield Park Comprehensive Health Center shortly after the facility was opened. The incident reportedly sent several persons scampering for cover as explosions rang out across the 89 Maxfield Avenue compound. The incident occurred about 8:40 a.m. A member of staff said that they held their breath until word came that it was not a colleague who was killed. This happens too often. It's like the clinic is a target for opposing gangsters, the staff member, who requested not to be named, said. It was understood that the deceased man is allegedly from the 3 Miles area. Shortly before noon, it was business as usual, unlike the previous time when a teen was killed at the facility in April 2019, which caused the premises to be closed for a day. A police team from the St. Andrew South Division maintained a presence on the compound on Monday. The Southeast Regional Health Authority confirmed that no staffer was injured in the attack. An eyewitness said that the victim was attacked in the company of another individual. I told him a walk, and as him step through them shoot him, and the other one run and them escape, the eyewitness said. The police information arm confirmed the incident. Head of the St. Andrew South Police Division, Senior Superintendent Wayne Cameron, could not be reached, as several calls to his cell phone went unanswered. The Ministry of Health and Wellness announced in January that it would have been spending more than $1.7 billion over 3 years to strengthen security at public health facilities managed by SERA. The government also did an audit of security arrangements at public health institutions across the island. This is a new approach, and it is in keeping with our vision that aims to be more responsive to what is happening in the environment, Minister of Health and Wellness Christopher Tufton said at the signing. Schalke Electronic Security Limited, whose guards are at the Maxfield Park Comprehensive Health Center, was one of 5 security companies awarded contracts. My voice is improving, says Shaw. Following public concern about his health, Audley Shaw, the Minister of Industry, Investment and Commerce, has disclosed that he is nursing a vocal cord injury. The public was alarmed about Shaw's voice during Sunday's swearing-in ceremony at King's House in St. Andrew.
I, Audley Fitzalbert Shaw, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Jamaica, that I will uphold and defend the Constitution and the laws of Jamaica, and that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge my responsibilities to the people of Jamaica, so help me God.
The 68-year-old's voice was pale but high-pitched. Voice improving day by day, though, he said in response to public concern. Shaw has been recovering after undergoing an operation earlier this year. For months, he had been absent from several sittings of Parliament as a result of the operation. He had been walking with a cane for support for some time. However, at the swearing-in ceremony, a slimmer-than-usual Shaw did not use a cane and moved about freely. Shaw was returned as the Member of Parliament for the Manchester North East constituency in the September 3 general election. St. James man charged following gun seizure. 29-year-old Demar Levy of Flower Hill in Salt Springs, St. James, has been charged in connection with the seizure of a firearm in his community on Sunday. The police report that about 1 p.m., a team was on patrol in the community when they allegedly saw Levy with the firearm. They reportedly attempted to accost him. However, he fled. He was reportedly chased and allegedly caught attempting to conceal the firearm. The gun, a Browning 9mm pistol, fitted with a magazine containing 9 9mm rounds of ammunition, was seized, and the Levy was arrested and later charged with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition. His court date is being finalized. 2 new COVID-19 deaths, 109 new cases. Jamaica has recorded 2 more COVID-19 related deaths in the last 24 hours, bringing the island's death toll to 46. According to the Ministry of Health and Wellness, The 2 deaths include a 44-year-old woman from Manchester with a history of hypertension and diabetes, and an 87-year-old woman from Clarendon with a history of hypertension. The country also recorded 109 new cases of COVID-19, which brings the total number of confirmed cases in the island to 4,042. Of the newly confirmed cases, there were 45 males and 64 females, with ages ranging from 5 to 87 years. The cases were recorded in the parishes of Kingston and St. Andrew, 23, St. Thomas, 19, St. James, 18, Portland, 16, St. Catherine, 14, Trelawney, 8, St. Elizabeth, 5, Clarendon, 4, and Hanover, 2. There were also 2 recoveries, bringing the total number of recovered patients to 1,163. Trenchtown yearns for renewal as it turns back on political warfare, as violence rocked sections of the island. In the 1970s and 80s, several families hurriedly packed what they could carry and ditched their inner-city Kingston houses for safer communities in what was the bloodiest period on the local political landscape. In the corporate area, sections of East Kingston, as well as Trenchtown, Rosetown, and Jonestown, were among areas caught up in the bloody mayhem. And while Maureen Reid was not yet a teenager, the educator still has vivid memories of the blood, bullets, and the ballots of the 1976 election, which forced her family to flee 8th Street in Jonestown, seeking refuge in community after community. Reid said, although the ordeal was terrifying as it unfolded, it did not come as a surprise for her family, as her grandmother had somewhat predicted disaster a few weeks before the 1976 election. My grandmother was very spiritual and could foretell things before they happened, so she began to pack up her stuff from before because she got a dream about a Winston Hill on a horse coming down West Road, and she saw a lot of fire and other things, Reid said, as she reflected on the period. So she instantly declared that something bad was going to happen, and she sent me and my cousins to different places to stay with our relatives. We went all over the place. Some of us went to Duane Park, Pembroke Hall, and then we all met up in St. Mary and stayed there for a while. Eventually, she would come back to Kingston, but this time she lived over by Jonestown, she added. Reid said the bloody mayhem caused her not to graduate, and she lost contact with some friends who had lived in the Jamaica Labour Party JLP-dominated section of the area. I was about to leave Trenchtown Primary School, but I didn't get a chance to graduate because of the political warfare. Even some of my friends who were in my class could not come back to school as a result of the flare-up. I lost a whole lot of friends as a result at that time because of politics, she reflected. As adults, hearing gunshots are really scary. So imagine that as a child, we were afraid. There was a lot of poisoned bullets. And I remember there were nights when we were so afraid that we had to leave and go over by Charlie Smith High School to sleep. We just couldn't go beyond 7th Street because they were JLP and where we live was dominated by PMP, she said. Violence reigned in the space for a few years until a truce was called in 1978, with many residents from both sides bettering their fear to overwhelmingly support a peace dance. The unity, however, was short-lived, Reid recalled. Within months, the guns were barking again. The war started again, and this time it took a greater toll on us. By this time, I was a teenager. I could barely concentrate on my studies because we just used to fret, because you don't know when somebody could come and kick off your door, said Reid. Years later, residents would decide enough blood had been shed, and they worked to transform the community with an emphasis on peace. The young people began to go back to school, and the persons put down their guns. Parents started to teach their children that some of what went on was done in ignorance, so there was a brand new outlook on life, she said, as the island held its 18th general election 2 weeks ago. It was a far cry from the days of old, as supporters of the JLP and the PMP made merry together on election day. Trenchtown, Reid said, has also become more developed, with many residents who fled the area returning to reunite families and repair the wounds. Once upon a time, there used to be a lot of empty houses and lots, but those are now occupied, and it is a good look, she said. The place is developing slowly. There is still work to be done, but things have been improving. On Sunday, Pernell Charles Jr. was installed as the Minister of Urban Renewal, a shift in emphasis that could bring surgical attention to one of Jamaica's development sources with vast potential. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.